Hello, everybody. Welcome to my weird and wonderful world. And today I wanted to talk about the Beatles. Because recently I just got a wonderful gift from Larry Graves. I had just recently gotten that last album that I needed, so now pretty much I have everything. So I just want to give my thoughts on the Beatles in general. Again, all from the top of my head. I have nothing rehearsed. I just want to give you my thoughts as they come up. Okay, nothing planned. Now I played this already. Okay, I have it. I still have the second disc in the player. So I want to give you my review and my thoughts about this in particular. Okay. I don't think anything else is like that. I think maybe some of this stuff might be. But if you're familiar with Past Masters, okay, and again, I want to give a tremendous thank you to Larry Graves for sending me that, and for him not to worry about me ordering it from Frank's Music. They won't mind. I'll be spending money there regardless. I'll just buy something else, and yeah, they won't have any problem for that. It's more merchandise for their store, and guaranteed there's going to be a Beatles fan coming in there and say, "Oh wow, you got Passmasters," and snatch that up easy. But thank you, Larry Grace, for sending me that. It just puts it in my hands a lot earlier, and yeah. So I was playing this last night. I like the first one, the first disc, and I'm playing them in the headphones, of course, Now, my thoughts about mono, because a few of these songs are in mono, like with Love Me Do, the original single version. And then there's also She Loves You, I'll Get You. And then the last one here, You Know My Name, Look Up the Number. Those are the only tracks on there. There's only four songs that are in mono. But I found that they didn't really wow me too much. I'm not a fan of mono. I like that stereo play. That when the other songs came on in stereo, especially at first, the first time playing it, when Thank You Girl started playing after these two mono, um, yeah, pretty much, yeah, not well. From Me to You was in stereo, okay, but Thank You Girl kind of stood out because what I was liking about it was how, okay, not counting mono, the stereo stuff. They do two different type of styles of stereo play, and the first one that I really noted from Thank You Girl was how all the instruments were on the left side. All the instruments. There was nothing centered. All the instruments like the drum, the bass, the guitar were all on this side. The vocals, only the vocals were in the were in the right ear. And I was like, why haven't I noticed that before? And I was like, it just creates a certain dynamic. What that does, and I don't hear any other album I play in stereo in the headphones. I don't hear anybody else really doing that, but it clarifies the vocals that they stand out beyond the music because the music's over here and you got your vocals over here, and sometimes a harmonica or even clapping, will be on the same side as the. But then they have another stereo play where on some of the other songs where the vocals are more centered, just the vocals are centered, and then you have the drum and bass on one side and the guitars on the other side, or something to that effect. I thought that was uh, I thought that was pretty interesting. Yeah, I think it was drum and bass on the left ear and the guitars were on the right ears, and again that created another dynamic. So when it comes to the difference between, for me, choosing mono, the stereo, I'll choose a stereo. I'll choose stereo. Stereo because yeah, I just love when there's good stereo play when they use it right. And for those songs, the way, yeah, it's just top notch. So you could say I really really enjoyed listening to that. Yeah, that was fun. Again, thank you, Larry. Thank you, thank you. All right, so kind of go through some of this because I have a couple of thoughts about my collection. Now, I had been starting to when I started collecting the Beatles stuff, right? And that wasn't all that long ago. Maybe about a year ago that I started collecting the Beatles albums. Maybe a year and a half tops. Maybe I have to look into it more. But yeah, it's just a recent couple of years, and I always kind of liked the Beatles, but I didn't really thought about the Beatles until watching Larry Graves and his reviews of the Beatles and his thoughts about the Beatles and why he likes the Beatles. And it's like, okay. And then the more I listened, of course, to really listen, because the, the Beatles was a band that I only really kind of heard and never really listened to, not until the last couple of years. So now that I'm actually listening to the Beatles, yeah. So I have Please Please Me, right? And now referring to these ones here that have the Apple logo on the spine at the bottom here, these are the 2009 remasters, yeah, so just to look at that here again. At the 2009 digitally remaster. So I'm going to refer to this as the Niners, the Niners remastered, but yeah, it'll be the Niners. Now, when it comes to the Niners, the remasters, I have this one. I have, of course, Please Please Me. I have with the Beatles. That's a Niner. Now that the latest one I had gotten because I've been needing that for a while, and now I have it. I played it a couple of times, and it's awesome. I love it. I'm so happy that I'm happy to have them all now. And this is what this is. This is a celebration of me finally getting all the Beatles albums. So Beatles for Sale. That's a niner. Help. That's a niner. Rubber Soul, that's a niner, it's on the spine. But then now I get to this, my Revolver. This is a 2022? Yeah, 2022. Not a remaster, but I think a reissue. It's just the CD edition. Now, will I get the a niner? Will I actually get the niner version of Revolver? Probably, most likely. I wouldn't mind having my Beatles collection be a little bit more what's the word I'm looking for? Organized in a certain way, more consistent. Yeah, there's the word I'm looking for. More consistent. Then you get to Sergeant Pepper, and it's this format, which is great. But I still think, well, I want that as a niner. I'll still keep this, and I won't have them separated. Once I replace it, I'll take it out. But I'm still not going to get rid of them. I just like to have a different version of it. So yeah, and what I like about this is that it doesn't say the Beatles at all on the spine. It just says, as if they have to say, well, this is the Beatles. No, it's as soon as you see that title, it's the Beatles. They don't have to tell you who's in there. That's the only one that does that. And then, of course, my Magical Mystery Tour is a niner. But now I get to this Beatles, the Beatles, the White Album, to this in this format. It's cool. I have seen it in the Niner format, the remaster. Again, I probably will pick that up too. Especially if I can find it with some extra content, maybe. Any of these kind of. We'll see. Again, I'm just happy to have the whole collection. This is a niner, of course, my Yellow Submarine. But then, yeah, again, this is an anniversary edition of Abbey Road. which is cool. But I still, again, still might want to, know, not necessarily replace it because, like I said, I'll keep this version of it. I still want that, but I still may want to get a niner version of it. Same thing with Let It Be. My Let It Be is actually a 1987 release of Let It Be, which is nothing wrong with that at all. It's cool, but again, I wouldn't mind replacing it with a niner. And I don't think that comes as a niner, but I'm still happy to get that 2 discs because the second disc is a really cool fly on the wall where you're basically listening to the Beatles talk about the album and stuff. So it's pretty cool. I need to listen to this again. But yeah, I like having 2 versions of that. And I, of course, thanks to Larry Graves again, this is a niner. This is a good one. This is a 2009 remaster. So so I'm happy with that. Even this is one of those. I don't know if it's a niner specifically. No, this is 2013. But still, it's official. I'm considering it as that too, even though it's not necessarily a remaster. It is a cool reissue, and it is a part of that. It has that emblem in the right spots. You know, you like it matches this. If the spine matches like that, those are the sets I want. Yeah. But when it comes to the Beatles music, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of well, actually the BBC section. I gotta listen to that again. That's too cool. But I love. This is such a great mix of all those songs. 26 songs in a row, perfectly mixed, perfectly. I love it. I think it's just I think it's the best for me. It was one of my favorite experiences listening to Beatles songs. I don't know. It was something about that was like, yeah, it was just the perfect ordering of the songs, the perfect like certain songs I had never heard before, like having it because and get back and glass. I love the order of the songs. It just creates such a different experience. So it really heightens my love for the Beatles even more. And I kind of started with these knockoffs. These are bootlegs. It's the Stargrove, and I consider these bootlegs. I don't consider these canon at all. And if I ever get some more official Beatles albums and stuff, like peripherals and that, like if I choose to get eventually I want to get the number ones, or I don't know. Well, we'll see how that goes. But there are a few more Beatles stuff I'm looking to get. I'll have to take these out and put them separate because I don't consider this canon at all. I got all the Beatles stuff I need now. Plus, I have the John Lennon here and a Paul McCartney, and those will be going separate. This box here is specifically for just Beatles stuff. But close enough for now, and there's room in there, so I will be keeping it in there. But I have 7 of these boxes. Okay, I have and pretty much this one here is just dedicated to Beatles. This is all I need for Beatles. So eventually, I'm going to draw on the cover on the box itself. I'm going to draw the Beatles, like the logo right here on the cover. I want to decorate these one at a time. Eventually, not for a little while, but I have one for Rush. I have one for Metallica. I have one for I have one for Bell and Sebastian. I have one for ACDC, and I have one for the old Kiss, but that probably because I still want the 80s and 90s stuff. That would probably but once I dedicate, like Kiss is not making any more albums, are not going to be making too much more albums, so I probably exchange one of the boxes for, yeah, I'll have to exchange some boxes, but I want, like the one for Rush, for example. Rush is guaranteed not to be making any more albums. So I can draw the Rush logo on that box. I can, you know, Metallica could be still making more albums, but AC/DC isn't. I'm pretty sure Angus and crew are completely done making albums. Now that once I get live at River Plate, I'll have all that, so I'll draw a logo on that. So not all the boxes until I'm sure that what's in there is going to stay in there, like these Beatles, you know. So yeah, it's going to be the Beatles on there. A quick recap: if you haven't seen my video way back when I was doing a ranking of all the Beatles, I'll just show you. Yeah, I'll go through it really quick because it's just to celebrate. Now that I have all of these, um, I want to live with them a little bit. I still want to play them here and there because they're not long albums at all. It's so cool. Uh, I was talking about AC/DC for a moment. I have recently just bought Rock or Bust. And I didn't realize how short that album was going to be. It's only 35 minutes. Exactly 35 minutes long. I was like, yeah, I like that. A nice short album. If you want to listen to it on the fly, it's cool. So I ranked every every Beatles album. I'll try to go through this as quick as I can. Don't want to cover anything, just in case you guys are interested. If you're watching this for the first time, yeah, I did some rankings way back when, and this is just a quick recap, just to fill up the episode, this video a little bit. Like I said, in the next couple of days, I still want to go through the last chapter of my Black Sabbath, debut album liner note reading. I only have the last third to read, so Beatles. You could always kind of pause it, to check out what the scores are. Yeah, this is just for those of you who hasn't seen this yet. I'm sure others who have watched my videos remember this. So those are my rankings for all the albums. And then of course I had to do the past masters. That was included for sure because it's canon. You know, how many tens, so many tens in the past masters because they're all brilliant songs that I really love. And theirs was the rankings from the least best from 14 to 1. As you see, what got the most tens out of tens and the higher scores was Abbey Road, Past Masters, Let It Be, Sergeant Pepper, and Hard. Yeah, people were like, "What? How did the Beatles self-titled, the White Album, how did that get number 6?" And some people would hope that Beatles for Sale, Revolver would be higher, or Rubber Soul would be higher. But no, these are what the numbers said. These are how much I liked it, each individual song from the album, and tallied. And yeah, all right. I am done with this one. I just kind of wanted to go through that quickly and just give you my thoughts on my collection. I'll dive a little bit deeper into the music side of it eventually in upcoming videos. I do want to listen to them a little bit more, get just a little bit more familiar with them. As with other stuff, I'm still listening to other stuff. And yeah, okay, that's it. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do, because I will love you forever. Greatly appreciate it. Don't be afraid to hit the like button. Please leave me comments because I love reading your comments. I do my best to get to people's comments. Maybe not right away, but I always try my best to get to your comments. Okay, I am done. So everybody, please be safe. Take care. I will see you on the flip side. And please, everybody, have a great day, evening, morning, night, or afternoon, wherever you may be. Peace, everybody.